again, my name is Anthony Gray. Welcome to another episode of Grayscale Painting. What you see in front of you is a red caped robin. I did it freehand and I outlined it fairly strong. For the reason is I'm going to mask it. Alright, and I'm going to take some 2-inch wide masking tape, and I figured I'd show you this process simply because I haven't done many videos of masking and how I do the process of masking off buildings or animals. And so I'm just taking the 2-inch wide tape. As you can see clearly through it. Okay. And when I overlap the tape, I'll try to do it as thin as possible. Reason being that sometimes it gets a little tougher to try to cut through 2 pieces of tape. Okay. And because most of the subject is kind of in a elongated manner, I'm going to try to, I'll do it this way instead. It's just easier for me to do it this way so I can cover most of the log. Alright, now stuff like this little piece of the branch here and his legs, we'll just go the other direction with the tape. Sometimes it just has to be that way. And trust me, sometimes it just makes life a little easier when you do have to do it that way. Okay. But I will walk you through it. You'll watch me do the whole thing. Okay. And then I'll work with the background. This is 11 by 15-inch watercolor paper that I'm doing this on. I do have an X-Acto knife. Okay. Be extremely careful with your X-Acto knife. Alright. Now I do press on this firmly to make sure, you know, that it's on there good. So when it comes to peeling off, I peel off what I cut away and not peel off what I mean to mask. Alright. You're going to probably see my head a little bit as I get into this. Alright. But I'll try to keep myself out of it. I'm starting with the beak. I'll give it a little firm press and as careful as possible. Now when I go over the double tape, I had to press a little firmly for that. But basically, you move your whole arm. Don't just move your wrist, move your whole arm as you do this. Now I'm a lefty, so I'm doing it in reverse. And once you get accustomed to doing stuff like this, you'll be surprised how fast this process actually goes. Now keep in mind that some of the tape will be layered on top of each other. Alright. And it takes a little bit of concentration if you can't really be distracted when you're at this point in the game, because it doesn't take long. See, I got double tape here, so I'm pressing pretty firmly here. But it doesn't take too long to kind of lose your place. And you don't really want that. I'm going inside here, inside the legs. Okay, and I remember some of this is double taped, so it makes it a little tough to cut. You might have to go back and re-cut. Okay, now this part here, I'm gonna just dig into it here, see if I can just get it out of there. Just like that. See, there's another spot here where it didn't cut all the way through. It's kind of tricky because you don't want to cut through the paper. It's just something you have to take a little bit of time, a little practice in doing. All right. Mine is retractable, so I always end up touching the handle, the little release mechanism. And then we just peel this part off too. Just like that. Alright. And we got that little piece right here. Every little piece, just get it out of there. like that. All right. Okay, we'll start from that piece of tape off there. We'll start from here. I'll follow it right on across, right on down. Don't rush it. I'll just go past the little line there. See, you got some, like I said, that's double taped, so it might be a little tricky. But you wear it away. I'm gonna keep popping this lever. That I know. And remember, there was double tape here too. Okay, sometimes I'll go through it, sometimes I don't. But it's not the end of the world, you know. So take your time, don't rush this. A sharp X-Acto knife will take off layers of skin before you even know it, so be mindful of that. Alright, I'm doing the pull. See here, where it's a little tough? This is where the double tape was. You just have to go over it slightly. Just like that, and it'll come right off. Let me get the other one, because I'll be doing this all day. I think it's the sharper of the blades. I think. There. All right, we're almost done actually with the unmasking. Let me throw that tape away. I think I cut from up here too, so let's peel this and see how far I got with this. Maybe not. I thought I did. I thought I cut that already. I thought I cut that. Let's see here. Yeah, I did. Must not have cut it hard enough. There. I know I did do it. There we go. Pull and lift. Pull and lift. Don't rush it. Just like so. I'm going to go underneath, because I know I didn't do this part. Underneath the bird here. This part I know I didn't cut. Just like so. All right, we're almost there. Here I gotta press a little firm because I'm going through double layers of tape here. Just like that. And make sure you get every piece. No matter how little it is, make sure you get every piece. All right, we've got the bottom part of the log here. So I'm just going outside of the border here and just get the outside. Now his nails are black, so I can do that. All of this later. I don't have to cut all of those. His nails are black, so I can just paint those in a little bit later. And I'm gonna get underneath here, give it a nice little pull. And I don't have to bother with that. Actually, we can just cut right through that, because that's just his nails anyway. His nails are black, so we can just cover those a little bit later. There. Just give it a pull, and there you go. Now, the masked bird is complete. It doesn't take too long to do. So now the bird is completely masked, and you can put whatever background you feel for this. We're gonna draw back on the camera a little bit here, and we're gonna kind of center him in, much like that. What I'm going to attempt is one of those very soft backgrounds that look like there's stuff back there, but it's blurred out. The only thing that's going to be in extreme focus will be the bird and the branch that the bird is sitting on. Okay, I don't have the double camera on. I really won't need it. And what I am going to do is get a nice soft layer of glycerin and put over this, over the bird and everything. And then we're going to add our colors. So this process will not take too dreadfully long. Just got to find my... Okay, we're going to get right on to it. I only have green, white, sky blue, and sienna. That's it for the colors. I won't need much anything else past that. Like I say, a very thin coat of glycerin, and I mean very thin, because we're just doing a very washed out background. Okay, if you can avoid getting the entire bird with the glycerin, that might be best. Up to you. Because remember, glycerin and tape, it stays on there. Tape is not porous like the paper. Is what I'm saying. Okay, but I think I just covered the whole entire paper. It's just that quick. I'm just going over the bird too. It doesn't matter at this point. All right, and we're gonna dive right into the colors. All right, we're gonna use a little bit of the brown, and we'll go up from up here somewhere. I'll just do one of these numbers. All right, and we're gonna take some of that green, and we'll pop some of that green right up in here. And we'll come down here with the green, something like that. Okay. We're gonna get a little bit of that nice blue. Okay, and we'll pop that blue up in here somewhere. And we're gonna get some of that blue. We'll pop that blue right up around in here. Just like that. And we'll throw some of that blue in here like this. We're gonna get a little bit of that brown. We'll put that brown in there. That brown and blue together. Just like so. A little bit of green. Oh, we'll put the green up in here. Okay. All right. So with what we have right there, all streaked along, we're gonna get I'll use the large brush, and what we're gonna do is just circular motions, very light. Go as light as you can with the circular motions, and you want a nice faded blend. Okay. Basically, you're just getting rid of the streak marks. Smooth everything over. Smooth it all. Go as light as you can. All I'm doing is blurring the colors. Just like that, blur it all together. Makes those colors right in there. Some colors you might have to press a little more to get it to move around, and some you don't. Each color has its own unique properties. There. As I'm blurring all of this, I'll be adding some more color to it, just to darken it up a little bit. All right. Okay. So I'm getting a little more green. I'll throw some darker green up in here like this. Okay, and I'll get some of that blue, and I'll throw some deeper blue in there, like that. I'm gonna take a little bit of white. All right, I'll build some of that white up around this area here. Just like that. Okay. Throw some more of that bluish color in there like that. And we'll get a little bit of brown and okay. Open up some more of that color. Get a nice little, just like that. Put it in there, just like so. And once again, we'll go with the darker color. Put it right in there. Blur those colors together. Blur them together. If you have to press a little more, press a little more. My main objective really is just to get the streaks out of there. That's all. As you've noticed, I'm leaving the white alone. The white will be last. Now white leaves a chalky residue, so just be mindful of that. Okay. I'm gonna get rid of this brush. I am going to get my towel here. Wipe off some of this residual stuff. And now we're gonna play around with that white area. White area, I'm gonna smooth it out, kind of saturate my brush with the white. And we'll start to kind of blend outward a little bit. Take some of that white, just stay in that spot, and you blend outward into whatever direction you want. Like that. Just like that. You fade and blend, blend and fade. Have fun with this. All right. And that's basically all I need to do with this whole thing. And X strokes. Just like that. Now glycerin, when it starts to dry, the paint spreads. So whatever streak marks you might have in there will not stay very long. And there you go. All right. Okay. Now, pretty much a waiting game. My background, for most parts, is already finished. I don't have to really deal with doing anything else with the background. Now it's all foreground, or the bird and the branch itself. All right. And I will be waiting to do that when this fully dries. But what I can do, what you see me do right now, is I can just take the tape off this fella. Now remember, glycerin, vegetable glycerin, will stick on this tape. It's very wet still. So be very mindful of that. Be careful. You don't want to stain up anything that you're not looking to stain up, because it surely will happen. I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and I will get the remaining pieces of this fellow. If you gotta do it a bit at a time, do it a bit at a time. Always remember to kind of pull, lift. Okay. Like so. It comes off. Just be very careful, don't rush it. Go to the thinnest part here. going to pull, once again, pull, lift, pull, lift, and there you go. Perfect outline of the bird. Okay, and that's it. Now, once again, because of the glycerin, you have to wait for it to totally dry. So when I come back, it will be just painting in the bird and the it will be just painting in the bird and the branch. I will probably do the branch first because the bird's legs are jet black. Okay, so we can do the branch and everything. Like I said, the branch and the bird are in extreme detail. Everything else is fuzzed out in the back. Okay. I can pretty much guarantee you that the top half of the bird will be fairly sharp, just like you see it here. The bottom half, not so much. There's little tufts and fluffs of feathers and such. Really soft underbelly. Okay, and we'll show how to do that and incorporate all of that. All right. I mean, I could even go so far as to start blocking in the branch itself. I think I'll do that right now. I'll just block in the branch. We'll add all sorts of little details and such to the branch a little bit later. So I'm just going into my sienna right now and a little bit of what I got left of blue. Okay, and simply just block in the branch. The branch is really sharp. Okay, there is no like little white outline marks or anything. All right, no glycerin or anything like that. I'm just blocking in the branch. The branch, usually when you're painting like this, the branch or the bird may grow on you a little bit, meaning that they might get a little bit larger. All right, that's just the nature of the beast. Just be as careful as you possibly can. Don't rush this part. Keep everything nice and crisp and sharp if you can. Okay. I'm not looking for perfect colors, perfect coloration or anything. It's just me blocking all of this in right now. So there's going to be bits of gray, bits of blue, bits of brown, bits of all sorts of colors on this branch. And you want that will actually work for you. As a matter of fact, I kind of like the color that's going on with it. So I'm going to take a little bit of sky blue. I got it handy right here. I just need a little bit of it. And I'm going to mix that sienna and the blue together because I like the color. I like the way it looks. So a little bit of brown, a little bit of this blue, just mix it in there. Okay. If it's a little bit too blue, add more brown. It's going to turn kind of a weird gray anyway. And we're going to kind of get that edge really good. It's like that. Even if I cover over his feet, that does not matter. As you can see, this color, it's got this weird kind of bluish to it. So I'll gray it up. I'll just add more brown. So it kind of looks like a branch. There we go. We add a little bit more brown to it there, like that. Not like this is the final color. I'm just blocking in this guy, just like so. There we go. Just blocking it right in. There. Get some more of that color. I'm popping in a little bit more blue into that grayish color. Just color variance, variation of color. Just like that. Put it right in there. If I feel that's looking too much like the background, I'll darken it. I'm coloring right through his feet. Whatever, if you see little bits of white anywhere in there, get rid of it. Cover it right up. Like I say, these things have a tendency to grow on you a little bit, but that's okay. Don't worry about it. Just like that. I got some extra paint in there, throwing some of that extra color. I got a little bit of brown left. I'm gonna throw some of that in there too, just like this. Mix it up in there, because as it dries and flattens out, I don't want it to look entirely like the background. So there we go. And now covering it with that brown, the way I'm doing, it's just adding to the wood look. I wasn't planning on doing it, but since I was already done with the cutting out of the masking out of the bird, so might as well just continue it on. All right, but she looks fairly much just like you see here. Okay, I can take a little bit of white into what gray I do have. Okay, and I can just add little bits of rounded texture on this fellow. Won't be the total texture, but try to exaggerate that little U shape there. I'm overlapping. It's a very exaggerated U. It's like that. As it dries, you'll still see some of that corresponding color. But we're gonna add all sorts of stuff to this once it's fully set and dry. All right, I don't really have to do much more to that branch until it's fully dry. I want to add all sorts of textures and everything to it, which won't be as daunting as you would think. Okay, and we're gonna get that edge extremely sharp. Okay, so it really sticks out. There's a light half and the dark half. We'll concentrate more on that as we get more and more into it. And I'll probably, since I started the branch, I will finish the branch. And once I'm done with the branch, we don't have to touch it in order other than adding the legs to the bird. All right, I think that is about it for this half. So I shall see you guys in a few seconds, and we can finish off that branch and start and finish the bird itself. Okay, welcome back. How are you? And we're gonna continue on with Mr. Birdie here. In order for one of these type of paintings to really stand out, all right, whatever's in the foreground has to be quite crisp and very sharp. Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit of dark blue, a little touch of red. I'm making a purple, and with that purple I'm adding yellow. It's gonna give me a nice wood color when I touch it up with some white. No glycerin or anything like that. Now, as I'm doing this and I'm coating my brush with this color, I'm taking most of it off, so it gives me more of a dry brush type of feel, so I can get the patterns going. All right, and I'll start from here, and I'm gonna go in and exaggerate it, either a backwards letter C or a U motion, whatever you see fit. I'm going from the bottom up. I don't necessarily have to cover the whole thing, but I am going to go in that characteristic fashion just to give the branch some roundness, so it will be an exaggerated color. I don't have to fill the entire branch with this color, so we're going to be going over it in layers. Okay, there will be some dark patches, some light patches, and if it looks a little uniform, that's okay, because when you go over it with other colors, they're not going to cover the same spots as the previous color, So it's going to give it that random type of roundness, that random type of look. All right, but still maintain that letter U shape. Okay, or semicircle, like a upside down letter C, like that. I'll take a little bit of white. All right, and I'm gonna pretty much do the same thing. I'm gonna use a lot of this white, well, this brighter color. I'm gonna use toward the top. All right, and still keeping with the semicircle fashion. See this? Like this. All right, and I'm gonna continue this mainly on the top. There'll be other colors added in this, but I'm still keeping with that roundness. All right. There. And we're gonna keep on going. And we're going to keep building in layers. Okay. Almost in a scumbling manner. Okay. I'm going to get a little more white, and I'm dipping it into that lighter form of brown. The brighter you go with it, the less of it you need. Okay. But we really need to kind of coat this top part of the branch. Circular fashion. Now what's going on is that the look at trying to gather my thoughts here. I'm talking to you. I'm just making the top half a little brighter. We're going to get to this being a lot sharper, the branch itself, and you'll see. I'm just adding just a brighter bark on the top half. Don't necessarily there, keeping that rounded look. And I'm gonna keep the brighter you go, the less of it you need, and I'm aiming it really towards the top half of this branch. Now right now I'm just dealing with the light colors and such so far. All right, so far. Get a little bit brighter here and still maintain that roundness. Keep going in that rounded shape. I'll bring some of that brightness right here. Scumble it in right there. All right. Okay. We're gonna go from the other side. I'm getting a little bit of blue. It's just dark blue, and I'm getting some dark brown, blue in the brown. Try not to have any white on your brush at all when you mix these two colors. You need it quite dark. Any type of white will pretty much kill that illusion of dark. Okay. Now the bird itself does have black in it. I'm gonna try to get a color, mix the color as close to black as I can when I get to the bird. But right now we're concentrating mainly on the wood itself, which is down below here. And you're gonna have pretty much the same thing down below. I'm gonna get a pretty fairly sharp edge right here down below. And we're gonna, this here is gonna be a little darker. It's a piece of wood kind of flipped up there. Like a piece of bark, just kind of, just like that. And we're gonna just continue on downward here. I'm making the line sharp. Down below, but we got to have that nice crisp edge down below. Much like that. All right. I'm just getting some dark blue. A little bit of red in that dark blue. It's just a deep maroon. Okay. Now I'm adding a little bit of green and red to this blue. It's gonna be even darker. All right, it's got kind of a green tinge to it. If I add white, it will turn another version of gray, which is not really what I'm looking for, but just a deeper, darker color down here on the edge here. Okay, and basically I am just outlining the bottom edge. Keep it fairly dark right on the edge there. I don't have to add texture per se, but I just want a very dark bottom half. As the color starts to flatten out, it will mesh into the secondary color I put down before. But it is a deeper color. It's more of a really deep brown. Instead of me just using black, I'll get a very nice close substitute of it. That's all. Like so. Okay. But now you see the bright part really stick out there. And still keep it with the roundness of the branch itself. All right. And we're gonna sharpen the highlight part. Got to be sharp. Now I can use another brush for this, but as long as I maintain a nice deep sharp edge on the branch. All right, looks like this. And all I'm looking for is just a nice sharp edge for that top part, just like I did for the bottom. It's just a sharper, bright there. All right, I'm just adding more white to my little brown mix. Nice sharp edge here. there. Now if you feel your paint starting to break up a little bit, get it a little thicker, get that line going, and right inside that line you can continue, inside the line you continue the roundness there. Alright, I'm going to get a script liner now. You need the paint to be of an inky consistency when you use a script liner for those extra fine lines, to which I'm doing right now. And right here at the top here, right in here, and it comes around and it kind of disappears like that. So I got a nice little you know, rim of color right in there. And then I can just kind of coax some of that sharp right up in there like that. You don't need to add too much to it for an outline. Just a little touch here and there. Just sharpening the edge just a little bit. As long as you got that edge clearly defined there, okay, it will just naturally pop right out. Now you've already got the dark on the bottom, you got the light on the top, and it's still rounded. All right, so you're pretty much good in that fashion. Okay, all right. So basically that part is done as far as the branch is concerned. I don't have to have any little branches sticking out here or there, nothing like that. Just that one branch will do. Okay, all right, we're gonna move on to Mr. Bird here. Now for the bird, I would like to get a nice color as close to black as I possibly can without actually getting black, so you will be mixing fairly dark colors together. Okay, now I do have this deep blue, this dark deep blue, and I do have this brown. I'm gonna mix a little bit of red in there and some blue, which make it maroon color, but it's mixed in with that brown also. Okay, but I am going to do the bird's feet first. Okay, now if I were you, I would use a thinner brush. Okay, now the legs here, this first layer, if it's too blue, I'm gonna have to just go with black. Okay, I'm just turning the brush over. I got more paint on that side. Or I can just wait till it's dry. But I feel that this is not dark enough. So what I will do is just get some black, but I'm not going to use entirely black like you would think. This might take it though. If I dry it and coat it again, it might just be dark enough. It might be. I don't have to go really too far inward than what you see there with this fellow. So I'm gonna do the other leg. I'm gonna let this set and dry to see if it's actually dark enough, if it could pass. I don't think it will pass. I think I might have to go with a little bit of black. But when I add the black, I'm gonna put blue in it. I don't want solid black. And I'm using a flat brush here. Just blocking in the color, using in the corner of the brush just to block it in a little bit. I'm not worried about like little things like that. It's not really a mistake because remember his claws are going over the branch. Okay, it's starting to dry. I don't have any medium or anything on this. It's just pure paint. Okay. So believe it or not, if I had it just a little bit darker, two deeper colors, I could actually get away with that. But since I don't, I'm gonna have to use a little bit of black, which is fine because most of the bird coloring is black. But I don't, like I said, I don't need as much black. And I'm gonna use a finer brush for the next color mix here. I'm just putting the towel over my legs so I don't be repeating the same errors I've done a million times before. All right, I got brushes here that really shouldn't be in this spot. I should put them somewhere else. Let's put this one back, and let's put these right here where I can easily get them. This guy can go back over here. I'm gonna need him a little bit later. All right, let's go with we'll go with the round brush. A round brush will give me a little more control. All right, we're gonna darken in those legs, and we're gonna make those legs a little sharper. So I'm going into my black, a little bit of black, just a little bit. Going into my blue, I'm mixing the blue and the black together. Okay, more blue than black. And I'm mixing it in fairly well. All right. And here we go. I'm gonna really tighten up that leg, make it nice and sharp. Just like that, and curve it in. Do the same thing with the outside leg. Very carefully. Make it sharp, and then just fill it in. Just like that. It's not entirely black, okay, but it's definitely dark enough to do what I'm looking for it to do here. Take your time, don't rush. Please don't rush. Don't rush this process of the bird's legs. Just like that. Anything that's black, there we go. Just like that. All right, now when it comes to the bird's claws, okay, I'm going to do his rear claw right here. It's wrapped around the back right here. Comes out and around like this. Then it's going to do the contour of the wood right there like that. Comes to like a point right there. All right, now I'm gonna dip my brush, that was too much, into some water just to loosen up the paint. The paint's pretty thick. All right, I'm twirling my brush around and keep it into a nice point. Now his middle toe here, like this, okay, like this, and it comes around. That. Then he got that nail. The nail kind of hooks just like that. All right. Yes, they do have long bird feet. Okay. Yes, they do. Just like that. Now, he has more than one. Put another one in there. And he got that little bit of a claw there, just like that. Okay. And make it pretty dark there, just like that. Just getting a little more water, loosen up the paint, because once again the paint is fairly thick. And then he has his other feet, which are much like the same thing. The middle toe there, just like that. Comes around, curves, and he got that little hook there. Don't forget the little bird claw, like so. And he has yet another one, fairly close to his other, and it curves around just like that, just like so. All right, dip my brush into a little more water. I'll put a little semblance of the third toe over there on that foot. And you'll barely see it, but it's right here. And then we'll curve him inward like that. But it is there. Just like that. Alright. Now, I got a little bit of white. I did not clean my brush. And little key spots. Add a little touch of white. Right where you know the knuckles would be, like that, little dots, you know, where it would kind of catch around the claws of the bird there. Just a little bit of white mixed in with my dark there. See that? And you kind of highlight a little bit of the claw a little bit there. See this? Little dots right here. A little, just to show it is still part of the bird there. Okay, and then I'll just add a little semblance of some scales there, just like that. Okay. Oh, just a semblance of some scales. Okay, just like that. And you won't need really any more than that. All right. Okay. Now, let's move up above. A lot of this bird, I'm getting some blue and I'm getting some black while I talk to you here. A lot of this fella, I got blue and black mixed. Keeping the paint relatively somewhat thick. I am going to get into some water, loosen up the paint just a little bit. Now he does have a black beak. He does have a black, most of his face, his crown of his face is black. Okay, but the important part is the outside edge. Okay, that's important. Right in here. Now I'm gonna move my whole hand right in here. I'm not concerned about the inside, I'm concerned about the edge on the outside here. Outside has to be tight. Not necessarily the inside, just the outside. Make it sharp. Okay. I'm just looking to where it is black at on this bird. I'm twirling my brush around just like that. All right. Now, I'm gonna get it as close as possible. There is some black on the very, I'm gonna use the tip of the brush, very right up in here. But it kind of disappears a little bit. Kind of disappears there. Because there's gonna be all sorts of colors and whatnot on this fella. When the white mixes in with the black, to give the semblance of feathers and such. Okay, so as I'm looking at the bird here, let's get to covering where his face is. Now, where I'm going around at, like that.
All this in here, let's outline that beak for 1 hot minute, like that.
All of that.
Well, you know what? Underneath here, if I can get it.
Let me pounce this brush for a second. Open it up.
Underneath, right here, is semblance of tough ruffled feathers in here. So I'm just tapping, just like that. Little tough there.
Okay. It's not as crisp there.
Okay. And we're gonna get a nice little outline here. Believe it or not.
Yep. Just like that.
Just like that. All up in here, pretty solid. Up under here, fairly solid. Just like that, and block it all in. Just like that, block it right in.
There. Just putting a little water into the dark color here. All right.
Just like that. Just to make it look like a little
Ruffled feathers here and there. Okay. It's pretty solid.
It's quite solid all up in here. Pretty solid color. Even though it looks black, it's not entirely black. Round off the eye a little bit there. And then we'll color around the eye. Just like that. Just fill it right in. Okay.
Put it right in there. Fairly solid.
Fairly solid there.
Just like so.
Just make it solid in certain spots there on the wing. There's slight highlights even in the dark of the wing, and we'll get to it.
Okay. All right. So as I'm checking her out, we've got some more dark to fill in. So I'm going back into my black, going back into my blue, mix some more of this color. Dipping into my water just to loosen up the paint just a little bit because we got some room to cover here. Now you might not be able to see it, it's kind of light. And I'm just looking more or less at the contours of where the feathers are more or less congregating there. Okay. We'll go right here. A little touch. Just something like that. Okay. We get it kind of like that, and we'll kind of feather it in like that. And we're going to go on the other side. We're going to feather it just like that. Get those striations going there. Just like that. All the rest in here, believe it or not, is black. Just right in here. It's pretty much straightforward. Okay. Here, we'll add some striations in here. Just like that. And then we're going to keep it solid here. Up in here, just got to be here. We'll do it this way.
come here and we'll feather it out that way. Just like that. You need those little feathers looking strokes right there like that. Then all of this in the inside gets covered in black. So it looks like little feathers. See that? That's like that.
Alright.
Okay. And we're gonna come straight down. You look at the bird really closely. I got a picture over here. Alright. There.
Now, I'm just getting some more water because acrylic paint does dry by evaporation. And I've got to just moisten the color. I'm using thick paint, so it does tack up. Okay. I am not going to use glycerin or anything like that. Won't be necessary at this stage. And getting some striations going, just like that. And then I am tightening up the back wing here. You don't want none of the white showing, alright? There. Just like that. Alright. And I'm just going to, there we go. Just like that. Get it as close as possible. Alright. We're gonna block in that there. Whatever is supposed to be dark, keep it dark. Just like so. Alright. Okay. Orange here. A reddish orange here. There is some black on the tail end. Right up around in here. And it comes, kind of thickens out right here. Right there at the edge. Right there. Much like that. Anything that's white or supposed to be covered in feathers, white feathers, it will cover the black. Okay. And we're gonna kind of there, like that. There's a little touch of black here. I'm just using the tip of the paintbrush right in here, just like that. All right. Okay. Let's see here. I think that would be more or less about it. All right. Now, his eye, I'm trying to round it off here. His eye will be more or less kind of blue blackish. This is more interpretation because basically his eye is black, but you obviously won't be able to see it too much. So I'll use the dark blue, and we're gonna highlight some of that eye also. All right. All right. Much like that. Now, I'm going to take an even smaller brush. My tiny little rigger brush, a little skimpy fella, for those little extra tiny details. And all I need to do is just outline the bottom half right here. Now, believe it or not, I have to lighten that up a little bit more so it can be seen a little better. Okay. And I get a little touch of water. All right. And then we're going to do that again. Now, if it appears to be a little too crazy, remember that this color will die out in a second or two. It'll start to fade. Okay. And we're gonna put that little birdie dot right up in there. That dot can probably be a little bit brighter. That would help. Like that. Don't need too much. All right. Okay. Now, let's work with that beak a little bit. Beak has to be particularly sharp. Take kind of a steady hand for this, all right? I'm gonna go from the bottom here. Just like that. And we're gonna do the other one, right up on top. Be as careful as you can. Get rid of that white edge, the smallest. Now remember, when painting like this, they tend to grow a little bit, all right? And it's okay. There we go. Block them right in there. Now, it's not entirely black. It's kind of grayish. Okay. But there you go. All right. I'm going to take a little bit of this whitish color, and we're just going to kind of liven up a little bit of that edge right in there. Just like that. He has a little bit on the top here. There. Like that. We're going to get some white. A little bit of white. Tiny bit, don't need too much. And we're going to separate a little bit where that beak would be. Very thin line. Very thin. We'll put a little bit right here. And then we're going to continue it right in here like that. Boom. All right. I don't really need much in the middle. All right. In the beginning, in the tip, the front end right here, and kind of stop it. Put the rest of it right in there. And yeah, that's basically about it for that. All right. So I'm looking at things here and there. Looking. I like what I see so far. Okay. So let's work with that where the white area would be. It will be white eventually, but not right now. We're going to take a little bit of sky blue and some white, mix it together there. So we're going to make it kind of really like a light bluish here. Get a little water because it's tacking up a bit. Then we'll add our shades to it later. Now I'm gonna add just the tiniest hint, if I can get some, tiniest hint of black, if I can get a little bit, and put it in that blue, grade a little bit. And we're gonna build our whites from this. Okay. All right. So what is supposed to be white, we're gonna make it blue for right now, just like this. Going for the kind of the texture of the feathers, where they reside, how they fold a little bit. Our highlight white color will complete all of this. Okay, trust me, it will. So all these little stripes you see I'm doing, it will actually help. You will see. There, much like that. The bird is shaped as a little barrel, as you could imagine. Okay. I'm going up into where the orange would be, going in reverse, much like that. And then I'm gonna kind of scoop it around this way. Now, there we go. See, there's a little fuzz back in here, just like that.
This is solid here. All that's solid. That's solid. Up in here is little birdie fuzz. See that? Just like that. The underneath, the underside of the bird is a little fluffed out. He's got little fine little feathers up around in this area down here. Okay. Then it gets sharp again toward the tail, but all of this is colored in. Where this bottom wing is fairly sharp, like that, just like that. Come on. Now he's got a little tuft in here, just like that. This gets colored in. All right. There. Now, once I get toward the tail area here, a little more black. It's gonna get a little darker here. I should use another, let's get a little deeper there. All right. We're gonna come this darker here on the tail part. So right where the tail is here, fairly dark in here. Kind of sharp, but it fades out there like that. Fade it into that blue a little bit, just like that. Get rid of that, sharpen that. There we go. Just like that. All right, as I'm looking at it, I think we're almost there with this fellow. So we do need that coloration. Down in here, same thing. It gets a little dark in this area underneath this little belly there. Just like that. We got little highlights and stuff happening within all of this. Okay, much like that. Just like so. All right, and trust me, that will actually be white. Those little undertones there is needed. There's a bright spot right up in here where you add the actual white. But as it looks right now, so far so good. Believe me, trust me, it's not looking as crazy as you might think it's looking. Okay. Okay. There's a little bit of shine in that black right up in here, and this is all it kind of needs, just like that. And that's about it. There's a couple of little thingies right in here. I'll just use dots, just like that. Represent a little bit of shine. But see how easy you can accomplish this. Okay, it's not as intimidating as you would think. You take each part a section at a time. All right, a section at a time. All right, and remember, it's a little fuzzy, fuzzy down below, whereas his legs are fuzzier down here. Okay, than it is up top. Top is fairly sharp. All right, okay, but we're getting there, guys. We are getting there. Let us fill in where it would be kind of reddish orange. So I'm going into my red, getting some yellow. I'm putting the yellow in there. I need a little touch of white in there. Okay, I think that'll work. I should have enough actually for this. I really should use a smaller brush for this, but you know I'm a glutton for punishment. Okay, anyway, right here on the edge, we're gonna get that edge done first. Tight tight edge here, tight edge, tight edge. Okay, now right up in here, more feathering. And up around in here, we do have feathering, a little tricky. And we're gonna there. Okay. And there. And we just cover all that. Color all that in. Just like that. See that? So really getting that, concentrating on that outside edge. Okay. All right, there you go. That's one part. So let's go back to our round brush. It's just safer that way. So I want to gather up some of this color. Hopefully it should be enough. I should have enough of this color to cover that head. One could possibly hope. Okay, so right up in here, I'm going to get that edge tight. Just like that, and we're gonna block this in. I'm turning the brush around. I got paint on the other side there. All right, just like that. Now, when it comes to that edge there, all right. Now, I want to just get little taps in there. Let's see if I got enough. I can scrounge up some more of that color. Now there is a highlight color to this, so don't panic. And this color isn't darker than that blue black, so. All right. It's like that. Now he does have little stragglers there of hair around this peak area here. And we'll just kind of, and he got little bits of it in here, just like that. Just a little bit, not too much. Okay, all right. Don't worry about the streaks in here. Don't worry about none of that. You got that's a foundation anyway. So fret not, worry not. And we're gonna have some more, we're gonna get a little bit more of this red, a little bit of yellow, slight touch of black in there too. So we're adding black within that red and yellow, a little bit, just a little bit, because we got some shadow here on the other side. Just like this, and you let it feather a little bit. Keep its roundness. Okay, right up in here. Get that little bit of darkness in there, just like that. And you leave it be after that. Just leave it alone. A little bit of that darkness is on the front, right up in here. Right up in here, and you can just kind of tap little bit of that dark right up in here. Not too much though. Right up in the front there. Real subtle like. Okay. All right. I'm picking another spot here. I got the color. I need a smaller brush. So this brush goes away. So I don't need the round brush now. I need the more of a fine brush. So this brush goes bye-bye. Let me drain out, get all the color out of it there. I could go for the super tiny rig brush. That will work. I just gotta get some water. Now this is a little tiny brush.
I gotta try to get this paint at an inky consistency. This is a very, very fine brush. And we're gonna put in some nice little birdie highlights right up in there like that. Very tiny. Very tiny, very tiny. Just like that. Okay. I'm just getting some white, getting a little water. Extremely tiny brush, so it's definitely for fine lines and such. And we're gonna get some and curve some of those in there like that. Some of my colors starting to tack up and dry a little bit, but that's okay. But this little tiny rigger brush, little fella, I'll show you. He's a little tiny guy. See that? That's what's giving us all that nice little fine line. He's got a little bit of brightness right up in here, just like that. Just around there, and around his little edges there, and we're kind of keep it there. All right. Okay, I'm gonna go with the larger script liner. We're gonna mix some more of that light color going into my white. I'm gonna dig out some of this red and my red and yellow mix here. Okay, here we go. Very lightly and very carefully. Even if you have to get rid of some of the paint off this tiny brush. Okay, we go with little fine strokes. Very fine. Very, very, very fine. Now, it looks a little crazy right now, right? But you gotta remember, yeah, you're looking at this kind of like close up here. Don't worry, you'll see what it looks like once it's we start drying stuff or coming back a little bit. And it's the similar color to, well, it is the same color, it's just lighter. Okay, and remember there's a dark patch there that we're looking at, and we're gonna just kind of emulate all those little light feathers just like that, and we're stroking them around just like so. We're gonna get with some of the darker colors when it gets to the it's like that. Okay, right up in here, going the other way. Pop a couple this way too. You're just getting the representation of the feathers. We need some darker feathers in there too. So a little touch of black into that red to get some water, so it turns a reddish gray. And once again, doing the same thing, but with a darker color right in here. Same thing, darker color. Now you see some kind of some texture here, but the texture is going in the direction, and it's a darker color. It's going in the direction of the feathers itself. Okay, just like that. Put it right in there. Okay. Now when I start pulling this back, you'll understand. You'll see. All right, you definitely will see. Okay. So as we're getting pretty close to the end of this thing, we'll start adding in some white. Okay, but not like you would think. Not with this brush anyway. We're gonna use the same kind of a beat down brush here. This fella here. Okay. For our finishing touches. Going into my white. This is now pure white this time. I'm gonna try it with the dry brush and see how we do. If I can't do it with dry brush, I should be able to get away with it with the dry brush. But we're gonna brush some texture on the bird there. Okay, just like this. Because you're not getting rid of all that blue, but now you start putting in the texture of the feathers in all of this. Just like that. You bring some up into that orange, like that. You block some of that in here. And then when it gets to that wing, I'm using dry brush. So basically it's just the tips of the brush itself. See where it's black at? Bring some of that into that black, just a few of them. You slightly block some of that in here like that. Don't get rid of all that blue. All right. Just like that, block some of it in because he is mostly white. So you got to portray that. This is a lot of dry brushing. A lot of dry brushing here. It's me dry brushing in the direction of where the feathers should be. Just like that. Put them in there. You see how that's starting to turn out? Don't rush it though. Up in here, you got some. Just like that. We start to block some of that. Block it in with pure white. Just like that. Just like so. And then I'll just bring some up in here. Block it in gently, like so. I'm still looking. I'm gonna get a little bit of water. Don't need too much. I didn't even get any. I'm dampening some extra water off on my off of my towel. Now I got little stragglers on this brush, okay, and we're gonna very gently, just be careful. There we go. And some of these little stragglers are cupping around like this, just like that. Loose feathers on him, like that. They come on around like this. All right. Now this is almost a glaze, so we're gonna lighten that up. It's still gonna maintain its color. Right in here, add some in there, just like that. Okay. It's starting to look more and more like Mr. Bird. I have some, making some gray. I'm gonna get some water. Pat some on my towel. I don't need too much. Now, all up in here, same thing, same texture. There we go, just like that. Bring some of that texture up in there, some of that gray. Now, this is water and paint, so when it dries, it's gonna show you all that texture underneath. I'm sorry, right down in here. Same thing I've done with the feathers, the bright white feathers. All right, we're doing the same thing with the gray. And remember, it's a little fluffier down here. You can kind of get away with it, like that. And we're gonna kind of crisp here, right in there. All right, and just like so. So you're adding all sorts of tones and colors to this fella. Okay, I'm going to my little bit of white, and we're gonna start stroking in gently some white up in here in a feather formation. See that? Go up into the black. See that? Just like that. Fill that in a little bit, and then we got this fella right in here. Right in here. A little more paint because it's white. There we go. Get some of those striations in there. Remember, it's sharp here. Keep it fairly sharp there. All right. I think we're just about there, guys. Now this is where it's getting a little, not necessarily nitpicky, but just fine-tuning some things here, where it's a little more solid in here. So I'll just kind of crisscross and make that a little bit darker there. It's a little more solid in there. More black there. Just like that. Okay. And believe it or not, I think that's just about it, you know. There's a little bit of stripe on his back that needs to be tightened up there. Can remember, this part of him is fairly sharp, so I'm gonna put a nice little line right in there to keep that sharpness going there. In there, just like that. All right, I just gotta more or less just put my name on it and call it a day. So I'd like to thank you guys for checking this out. I don't know how long this video is at the time of me taping this, because I'm doing it in 2 parts. But I will pull this back so you guys can check it out. Oh, I guess I'll put my initials a little above the branch here. I'll put them right here. But I do appreciate you guys. I do appreciate you guys watching and listening to me drone on. Like I said, there is no stencil for this. Sorry, I freehand the bird. Okay, let's see what it looks like with a framer like that. 2 on it. You want more of the bird to show? It would be more like that. You want more of the bird to show. There. There you go. It looks something like so. Okay. So let's see what it looks like with the black frig. But as you can see, with that buzzed out, that faded out background, and the bird is nice and sharp. Okay. You know, the bird just stands out that much more. Okay. I don't do wildlife paintings very much. It doesn't mean I can't do them. It's just my preference. I just don't really do them. So, I appreciate you guys watching. I hope it helps you out. Let me know what you think. And I shall see you guys when I see you. Take care and peace.